Alright, hello and welcome everyone here to the Dota Trash King of the Hill. We've got the Sneaky Nyx Assassins, formerly known as SNA+4. They are the victors from last week. They're going to be facing off against Revenge here. I'm your host Helium, and joining me, of course, and as always, it's going to be Gorgon.
And I am very happy to be here watching the Sneaky Nyx Assassins move forward with the King of the Hill. They absolutely dominated last week, but Revenge hoping to put a stop to their so far so good performances.
Yeah, this should be a pretty nice match, of course. I think everyone, if you're paying attention to this level of the NA Dota scene, which is quickly approaching Tier 1, I think. Sneaky Nyx Assassins led by IX Mike here. It looks like Bright is standing in. That's actually going to be Fluff and Stuff. So IX Mike, Fluff and Stuff on the same team once again. Of course, Whitebeard, Snot, and Ush, names that are becoming more and more recognizable every tournament and every game they win. And then, of course, Revenge. You know, we still have Misco Smash, Mihawk, Masoku, and Benhaz.
Yeah, Revenge is, I think, quickly becoming a team that people are recognizing and respecting, despite the fact that there's a bit of a stigma for Spanish and Portuguese-speaking teams in the North American scene, as they are, obviously, just South American teams, and there is that Dota cultural English speaker, Spanish speaker divide, but I think a lot of English speakers who follow American Dota are starting to recognize Revenge Esports. They are ranked 31st in the world by Join Dota, so doing pretty well for themselves so far.
I would say so. Looking at the bans, we have that Invoker as well as the Lycan getting banned out by Sneaky Nyx Assassins. Nothing too crazy there. Both of those heroes very much in the meta right now and very, very strong. I mean, Invoker pretty much dominates the mid lane. He can bring so much to the team fights with how powerful EMP is. And then there's Lycan. He pretty much just wins games by himself by pushing towers or just running people down in the team fights. If you lack some stuns, which they don't, they do have the Bolas here, or the Searing Chains from Ember Spirit, picked up first by Revenge.
Yeah, the Lycan also gives you games in a similar way that an Ursa might, in that he does allow you to get a very, very early Roshan with just the Vlads and the Medallion of Courage. Sneaky Nyx Assassins are going to go ahead and pick up the Bat Rider. That's a fairly decent pick for that Ember Spirit. It's a long disable that does allow you to pull him back and into the fray. But the problem with that Bat Rider against the Ember Spirit is you definitely need to kill him before the lasso ends, which can be difficult.
Yeah. So you mentioned the Batrider pickup. Before that, Revenge. They are obviously taking out very strong and popular supports right now as well. Visage is going to be dropped out, and of course, Ancient Apparition taking the fall. No Chilling Touch on the field, no annoying Ice Blast to stop any sort of push, or to just, land it on Batrider as soon as he lassos somebody up. And I think you were just mentioning it. You got to lasso that Ember, but you got to make sure to kill him, otherwise he's pretty slippery with those spirits. And of course, Sleight of Fist. Now Revenge. They go straight into a Naga Siren pick. And looking to put that maybe as a support, could be middle, will depend on where they want to put the Ember or the Naga.
Yeah, right now I would guess that that's going to be a mid-Ember and a farming Naga, but the beauty of a Naga is that she's so versatile that you cannot count on that being a farming Naga, especially if it's second pick. So, Sneaky Nyx Assassins are in a tough spot here. Do they ban out farming heroes or do they ban out supports? They don't really know what Revenge is going for at the moment. And honestly, Revenge probably has at least two options available to them that they are considering.
10 seconds remaining.
Yeah, I mean, Sneaky Nyx Assassins can also just continue to draft very aggressive and make sure Naga can't get any farm, but they're not guaranteed that Naga's going to be farming, and she can actually, come, throw some stuns, do some decent damage early, so she can fight. She's really hard to shut down. Ember, I think, is a little easier to shut down. You just kill him a bunch of times before he's level 6. And with the Rubik, well, Sneaky Nyx Assassins, they're not going to have that much damage at their disposal, and so far not too many good spells to go ahead and steal. I mean, I guess you have the sleep potential, but that's pretty unlikely. Stealing the net, I mean, is pretty guaranteed.
Yeah, net is a good spell to steal, but Rubik honestly here seems a little bit like an early pick on that. Not only, like you said, there's not a lot really to steal for the Rubik. The Sleight of Fist is not going to be very powerful coming out of the Rubik. You've got Searing Chains, I guess, and the net. But the other thing to consider is that neither Naga Siren nor Ember Spirit really rely on a ton of magical damage, and the Null Field coming out of Rubik is honestly one of his best contributions to a team. Now, all Revenge has to do in order to essentially mitigate that Rubik is just pick up physical DPS, and they'll be set. So if they grab themselves supports along the lines of the Vengeful Spirit, along the lines of, well, the Mirana has been banned out, but heroes that don't rely entirely on nukes, not picking up a Lion, not picking up a Lina, And Sneaky Nick's Assassin's Rubik pick could come back and bite them in the bum.
10 seconds remaining.
Yeah, maybe they're looking to pick something like an Enigma or potentially a Doom, but obviously not Doom as Revenge decides to ban it out. Prior to that, they took out the Puck, and you touched on the Piranha being banned out. Disruptor taken out, which I believe Revenge actually plays quite a bit, and this is a hero they do play quite a bit. Sneaky Next Assassins is going to go ahead and steal that Sand King away from, I believe, Masoku, who plays that oh so well.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a pretty strong pick. So far, Sneaky Nick Assassin's basically just doubling down on this reinitiation style. They've got a lot of heroes who do very well when they're being aggressed on. The Rubik with the telekinesis really punishes heroes for being out of position. The Bat Rider with the lasso, same exact thing. Not to mention the sticky napalm in the early game. Anybody who's too far forward in his lane will take significant damage. And then you have the Sand King, who's going to be able to reinitiate with a Burrow Strike and then an Epicenter into any aggression coming out of Revenge. So Sneaky Nick's Assassins, it doesn't seem like they want to be too forward until about 18-20 minutes, but they're really hoping that Revenge is going to cram it into their throat so that they can basically turn fights around.
I don't know, though. I feel like with the way Sand King works these days, able to stack up and just jungle with him, and we even see him being put mid every now and again. Sand King can have a pre-10-minute blink. I guess Bat Rider will have to do better in his lane, because Bat Rider generally needs to utilize the jungle as well to get that blink at 10 minutes, but both of these heroes getting their blink at 10 minutes, Sand King floating around level 6, then you've got your Epicenter and your Lasso. Sneaky Nick's Assassin could start fighting pretty early depending on how well their laning phase goes.
Yeah, if they do manage to get a blink up on Sand King and Bat Rider for sub 10 minutes, that would be extraordinary. IX Mike usually rotates into
Rubik,
right around 3 minutes. Yeah, and I was just also going to say, we've got 3 heroes who Rubik maybe a little less so, but 3 heroes who it is not uncommon, if not standard, to build a Blink Dagger on. So kind of a greedy team so far for Sneaky Nick Assassins in terms of early game farm requirements.
Yeah, not a whole lot of counter push either. I mean, I guess once you're at the tower, Bat Rider is pretty good. Sand King, you know,
he's got that caustic
finale is good, but you're not getting that early. So with Chen and potentially Naga with the Riptide able to push the creep wave quickly and then get some damage in on the towers, Revenge has some decent early push. So far, Sneaky Nick's Assassins, not a lot to stop it immediately, but again, floating around in the mid game where they've got their Blink Daggers up, definitely they have the ability to stop a pretty strong push.
So if Sand King does retire to the jungle, that does mean that we're going to have ourselves a defensive dual lane with Jungle Sand King, Storm Spirit mid, and Bat Rider off lane. But as I was saying earlier, that does not bode super well for Sneaky Nick's Assassins, I don't think. IX Mike, almost every time I've ever seen him play Bat Rider, he's retired right around between 2 and 4 minutes into the jungle to catch up on farm, and then gone back out to his lane around 8 minutes once he's close to his Blink Dagger. We don't see that as an option if Sand King is going to be back there stacking. They might try to split the farm, but they could also go ahead and try to get the Bat Rider's Blink Dagger up first and then have the Sand King rotate in the jungle, which would be a little bit slower but might be a little bit more reliable.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, they've got the Storm Spear for another source of initiation, and he can do that without the Blink Dagger, just needs at level 6. Maybe a little more to get some extra mana, but it looks like for right now, Sneaky Nick's Assassins going just, full throttle in your face, jumping in. You're not going to be able to counter-initiate on us because we've got 4 heroes that are about to blink in. Well, potentially 4. We'll see what they want to go with their last pick. So Storm mid, Bat Rider offlane. Looks like Rubik Sand King will be the support. So they're looking for one more core hero. Meanwhile, over to Revenge. They're going to need a support and an offlane, more than likely, depending on how they... I mean, Naga, of course, versatile, Ember Spirit, mid or safe lane. We'll see.
10 seconds
yeah, this is going to be a Bane pickup coming out of Revenge. Bane is a hero who's been getting a little bit more popular as of late. The Nightmare is going to be fairly effective on taking out either the Sand King or the Storm, or maybe even the Bat Rider with those quick initiations. That's going to give Revenge a little bit more capacity to assert themselves in the mid game and not feel like they're going to be reinitiated on immediately, but they're still running a dangerous game where if they do decide to move after a fight, they've got to watch every direction for Sneaky Nick Assassins to just pop out of nowhere.
Well, Nyx Assassin's ban out their own hero. The Nyx Assassin takes the fall there 5th. I guess just worried about that as the potential offlane candidate. I mean, you've got a Naga Siren. We saw how hard that can carry last night if anyone was watching EG versus Liquid.
Which I'm sure everybody was.
Yeah, right. There were like 40,000 people just on the English stream. It was insane. So we know Naga Siren can get it done. We've all been in those games where we've lost to it. It's pretty much impossible. You can't do anything unless your name is KOTH and you try really, really hard. And then Ember Spirit can do well. He's definitely not the hardest of late game carries because he's still always going to be pretty glass cannon, but
yeah,
we'll see.
Sneaky Nyx Assassin still looking to pick somebody up here. It is going to be coming out presumably for a defensive tri lane with that Sand King rotating to the jungle at some point.
10 seconds
That
remaining.
does give Revenge a fair amount of early game ability to take that Chen, knock down some towers, and if Revenge gets off to a really good start here, it'll be hard for Sneaky Nyx Assassins to come back because they are so dependent on getting those Blink Daggers up. Any little bit of an advantage that Revenge gets is going to become magnified as Sneaky Nyx Assassins retires into farm mode and Revenge starts crumbling towers. So I think the Chen pickup was pretty smart.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely a risk that you take when you pick heroes like they already have. You're so dependent on those 2 Blink Daggers. And Storm Spirit is generally pretty dependent on getting that Orchid up around 15, 18 minutes to continue to get pickoffs. And if you stop getting those pickoffs, well, right now we have pretty much, I would say, 4 heroes with no carry potential, at least when compared to Inaga.
Yeah. The Storm Spirit, I mean, Storm Spirit
He can carry pretty hard if he snowballs early.
Right, but if he doesn't get that early or at least mid-game Orchid up, like you were saying, if he is unable to continue to get pickoffs, Naga is a hero who, if you see her drop off the map for 15 minutes, if her team can buy her that much time, she will come back with a max inventory, kind of like an Alchemist. Storm Spirit is not anywhere near that potential for farming, which means that if he starts to fall off in terms of gameplay, he will start to fall off in terms of carry potential. However, one of the hardest late game carries in existence, the Gyrocopter, will come out to ease some of Sneaky Nyx Assassin's late game pains.
Yeah, I mean, that's a hero that has been getting a fair amount of play still, I believe. Aluna was way, way more popular for a little while.
Yeah.
I think she's starting to fall off a little bit. You could argue Gyrocopter hitting, everything in a range of 1,000 going to be a little bit better at dealing with those Naga Siren illusions when it comes to the late game. Of course, he can just go straight for that MKB, do a ton of damage, and he, of course, comes online really, really early. He's so strong, starting from level 1 and going on for a while.
Yeah, until about 10
needing
minutes.
needing his items for the late game. And here comes Nature's Prophet, speaking for the trees, speaking for Revenge, looking to get some more push on early. And we'll see how Sneaky Nyx Assassins can handle that.
Yeah, that is another strong pick, I think, for Revenge. They've got that the Chen and the Nature's Prophet do some pushing, open up some space for the Ember Spirit, who will take the mid game, and then they have the Naga Siren to take the late game. Naga Siren Illusion's also able to push fairly strong, so Revenge has a very nice tiering, sort of tapered quality to their draft, where Sneaky Nyx Assassins is presumably going to start off fairly slow. Maybe right out of the gate, the first 3 minutes, they've got a pretty strong draft. But after that, they're really going to be dependent on being able to get some farm up. And that's going to be Revenge's time to shine. I think to a good portion, unless this is a very, very surprisingly close game due to great gameplay coming out of Sneaky Nyx Assassins, the game looks like it could very well be decided in the 12 to 18 minute mark.
Well, I mean, there's a jungler here. Masoko is playing that Chen, of course, so that gives SNA+4. I'm going to keep calling them that, apparently. The Sneaky Nyx... We're calling them SNA still, I feel like. With so many words, Sneaky Nyx Assassin doesn't quite roll off the tongue, but they've got the potential to just go aggressive. Chen, of course, is going to be in the jungle. Naga Bane, it's a pretty defensive lane. I doubt they're going to misstep that much where they're going to get killed, but Gyrocopter should be able to farm pretty much unimpeded. I guess the Enfeeble could be a little bit annoying, and the Batrider, that would leave him going up against Nature's Prophet, and well, IX Mike on the Batrider is going to win that one, so... Yeah,
that's a case where Nature's Prophet will probably retire to the jungle as the Chen comes out to push. I don't expect him to try and go up against... I don't expect him to try and go up against a Rubik Sand King Gyrocopter alone for too long. He does have the treants to soak up a fair amount of that Rocket Barrage, which makes him a particularly good pick against the Gyrocopter. But the stun coming out of Rubik and Sand King, for all the hemming and hawing that we've been doing about, oh, these guys need to get up some basic items, that's a really strong laning combination.
Yeah, it really is. It's pretty defensive, too, if they, found themselves in the situation where they needed to sit in their defensive lane, scared of being aggroed against, which doesn't seem to be the case. If you were going to go aggressive jungle, you'd probably have picked up that Enchantress instead. She's just a little more versatile, and she can have 2 creeps up earlier. Chen, just going to sit in the jungle, probably get level 5, and then push down those safe lane towers.
Yeah, the push is really the name of the game for Revenge until they get that Naga Siren up and able to basically solo the entire other team. Meanwhile, SNA, Sneaky Nyx Assassins, looks like they are going to be going for a mid-game carry Storm Spear into a Gyrocopter for the late game, and they probably are just hoping to beat down Revenge's morale more than anything with these Blink of Dagger initiations. We are going to see a 5-man into the jungle from both teams, and the smoke is up on SNA. So why don't we go ahead and run through our players real quick here before we have this engagement.
Yeah, over on the Dire, the team that is smoked up, heading for the enemy jungle. IX Mike leading the way on the Bat Rider. Whitebeard, Dota going to be supporting up on the Rubik. SNA going to be the hard carry here on the Gyrocopter. Fluff and Stuff playing on the Sand King, and Ush Dota. We are going to have our first engagement. Vasoko found. He's lifted up. He's playing the Chen as well. Is he going to give up that first blood? No points in flat can yet. One more attack. Napalm is going to stack. That puts 3. That attack will put him in his own grave. Whitebeard, Dota going to pick up that first blood. Now Mihawk trying to scurry away. Mike still layering the Napalms. I think they're getting a little too far away. There's no telekinesis for 5 seconds. So that will get them away, but SNA+4, they pick up that intel. They're going to pick up the first blood as well. Well, Rubik actually started with boots. I was going to say that's boots for Rubik, but he's already got them.
Yeah, and the boots actually got them that kill, as it turns out. His slightly greater move speed got him that last little bit for that auto attack. So it turns out Whitebeard getting a very, very situational item grab that worked out for the best. I really like what SNA is doing here too. Changing into an aggressive tri-lane because they saw that Chen, which means that they know they're going to have a 3-on-2 advantage in this lane. Just a very, very strong overall game and draft awareness coming out of this squad. Coming for Revenge, we've got Benhaz on the Ember Spirit, and that's going to be our farmer. We've got Misko on the Bane. For the Chen in the jungle, we've got Mosaku, and we've got Smash taking that mid Naga Siren, and My Hawk is going to be on the Nature's Prophet. This one-on-one against the Bat Rider should probably go Bat Rider's way. So this is a little bit better for that Nature's Prophet, but honestly not a whole lot.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty hard. Actually, IX Mike has that illusion rune to just dominate the lane pretty hard, even earlier than he might. The Treants are still pretty annoying, and they're going to do a lot of scouting. Not that they really have anything to scout. No one's stacking or doing anything like that. Down here in the Radiant Jungle, we should mention there's one ward here on the small pool camp. There's another one in the big camp. So a lot of those camps that Chen uses to rotate over and do those ganks have been blocked. Now Misko in some trouble in the bottom lane. He's going to be in a lot of trouble. Should be going down a couple more auto attacks. Actually, Whitebeard's in a bit of trouble. Benjaz, though, only at level 1, Searing Chains on cooldown. Had he had a Sleight of Fist, could have picked up a kill, but it's SNA+4 getting one more. They're out ahead at 2-0 pretty early on.
This is exactly what SNA wants. I mean, obviously, anytime you see a team come up to an early lead, that's what they want. But this fits their game plan very, very well. Get the first 4 minutes to go very well for your team so that you can buy the time to get those Blink Daggers up. All right, Misko is going to be telekinesis followed by the stun. And
yeah, nice 2-man stun there by Fluff. It's going to ensure the death of that Bane. Benha's not able to really do anything. Completely out of mana now because looking at that Searing Chains, it's 110 to cast. He can get 2 of them before he has to wait. He doesn't have any clarities of his own, which, well, that's standard. Bane is sitting on 1, and we'll see if they want to just go ahead and just abandon this lane. I don't know if they're going to go back. They pretty much have to go back. They can't go anywhere else.
Yeah, there's really not a lot else or not a lot of other places to go. Their jungle's already being taken up by the Chen, and the Chen is being moved on here in the jungle, in fact. Though, very nice micro. No, that was actually a neutral, so the neutral taking off the clarity. A double damage rune being found and denied by the Chen. There's that nice micro I was waiting for.
He fit in there eventually. But nice micro, but then he just runs himself over into the mid lane. He's going to feed over to kill to Ush. So we talked about if Revenge got off to a really good start, that could hurt SNA+4. If their lane started to, sort of fail, then they can't get up those items that we're claiming they're fairly dependent on, at least for their full pick-off potential. But so far, everything has started off brilliantly for them, and the Bat Rider also doing well in the top lane.
Yeah, Benhat still hasn't gotten up basically anything other than brown boots. For the first 2-3 minutes, he's gotten about 400 gold in terms of net worth, and he is falling way behind. He's down below the Rubik in net worth, and that's really, really where you cannot be having your farming Ember Spirit. He's so dependent on levels and items. And
well, Rubik got the first blood. That's like
that's
just
true.
10 CS from the bonus gold, if you want to compare it to that.
He has just passed the Rubik 2 in net worth. Rubik's been buying
and he just got 11 CS, so there you have it.
That good old math craft, as we used to say.
Yeah, it's difficult sometimes. I mean, looking at the CS overall, in the mid lane we do have Ush. He did just pick up a kill on the Chen. He's got 20 CS. In the top lane, but we're going to head bottom first. They're trying to initiate here, I guess, onto the Bane. The Rocket Barrage is going to be soaked up a little bit by the creeps. Bane stays alive, trying to be annoying with that Enfeeble. But it's not hurting SNA too much. He's 9-0. Actually, Ember is farming better than him, but you're picking up so much experience and gold just from being around these kills and assists.
Yeah, Gyrocopter is, in terms of net worth, actually just behind the Ember Spirit now. So they're basically neck and neck, a negligible amount. Even though he is up against the Enfeeble, which is one of the best reasons to pick up that Bane if you do think that you're going to be playing that Bane in the
Smash
same lane.
is in a lot of trouble. The supports are going to smoke up straight through the river. Dota with the Electric Vortex. They're going to pick up that kill. It's 5-0 here in just 4 minutes. And, well, one redeeming factor for Revenge thus far in their laning phase. 21-1 here for Mihawk. So he's doing well. He's got his phase boots up. And at this rate, maybe prepping for the late game, probably going to go for a Midas.
Yeah, Mihawk is actually doing much, much better in his lane than I would have expected against this Batrider, particularly a Batrider played by one of the world's premier Batrider players. I think that he can be pretty happy with the way his lane is going. He could go into a Midas here. He'll probably get it up around 8 minutes at this rate.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the Napalm, as long as you're managing your stacks, it's not too bad on a ranged hero with a good attack animation. I mean, when you're melee and running in to hit those creeps and your turn rate is slowed down, it can really mess up your timing, but not as bad for Nature's Prophet. I was just worried he was going to get just run down, like 3 stacks on Napalm, the Batrider's okay, I'm going to kill him.
Right, that's the thing. He doesn't have any real strong defensive skills.
He can escape, he can just TP.
Ooh. Smash actually being forced out of lane down here, but already back up 2 health, and Hush missing maybe a bit of an opportunity there. And bottom, finally, Benha's getting a pretty strong opportunity to be farming out here. There's been no heroes down here for him for a solid minute or minute and a half. That's 2.5, 3 waves. And he's taking advantage of it. Look at his last hits. They've shot up over the last minute or so.
Yeah, speaking of things shooting, Dota shoots across the mid lane onto Smash. Fluff and stuff is there as well. Are they going to be able to bring him down? They will not be able to. They could have had the damage, but Nagasiren's going to go ahead and pop off that sleep. It looks like they're going to want to turn this around. They can see Ush very, very low on mana. I think he's going to be okay. He can ball lightning, you know, a little bit further. Instead, he's just going to go ahead and TP, and he's gone. So, nice response there. No hesitation. TP's back to base.
Yeah, that was the right move. He could see that Chen had no creeps, and honestly, moving around there with the Chen reinitiating without him having any creeps seems like a bit of a mistake. Nagasiren might have just been better to back off and then have Storm feel a little bit more in control of his lane, play a little bit farther forward as the Chen tried to find a Centaur or something, and then move in for the kill. But as it was, there was just really nothing that they could do to bring him down. They just simply did not have the damage and won't damage for some time still.
Looks like Mike has put himself up in the jungle now. They're going to give Gyrocopter the top lane where he's got pretty much uncontested farm. Bot lane was getting a little hairy. They can't really leave the Gyrocopter alone against that Ember Spirit, who has started to farm very, very well. 36 and 13. The Gyrocopter is still sitting at 18. I would say he's more farm dependent. Otherwise he's going to get kited around if he doesn't have those items.
Yeah, here's the thing. You started off so well keeping Benhaz down, but Ember Spirit is not a hero that you can give solo safe lane farm to. You just absolutely cannot be doing that.
Mid lane in trouble. They realize he does not have the Song of Siren for another 100 seconds, and they are going to be able to bring him down. Some nice micro there by Ush. Going to go ahead and dodge any attacks. Ashley throws out the net. They will turn it around. Ush trying to dodge attacks, still using that ball lightning. He will fall, though. Nice response from the Chen. Masoku just sitting around in the area, and he does have that Centaur Conqueror, and they turn the gank around. So that's the first kill on the board, and who actually got it? It was Chen.
That was exactly what I was talking about a second ago. As soon as you get that Centaur up, if that Storm Spirit is playing too far forward, he will go down. Storm Spirit does not have a huge mana pool at level 7, and he doesn't have a lot of items up, which means that if he is going to zip in for those initiations, he's not going to be able to zip away, especially if you've got the net and the Centaur War Runner handy. So that extra damage output made a big difference, able to actually get themselves on the board. Taking a look at our gold lead, we're still only about 1,000, and that is basically entirely on the back of the 4-kill lead that SNA has. So Revenge is really not that far out of this. The SNA took a pretty strong advantage in the first 4 minutes, but exactly like we were saying in the draft, through the mid game, they will start to fall off 4 or 5 minutes until they get those blink daggers up. They just are unable to continue the pace of gameplay that they were at until they have the mobility that they need.
Alright, well, we're back into it now. We see ourselves with SNA farming up in the top lane, trying to catch up to that Ember. He's almost getting, he's at half the CS of that Ember Spirit right now. Batrider, though, sitting in the lead. That's Mike at 51 and 1, starting to do those stacks. A lot of Bat Riders who start off doing very, very well will go for the Tranquils into the bottle, then the Blink Dagger, but because there were no stacks to facilitate the Blink Dagger on top of the Tranquil Boots, looks like he's going to be going straight for the Blink, and he's almost there, 150 gold away. Push coming down in the top lane here by SNA, and it's going to be the tower denied by Revenge.
Yeah, the deny there, also extremely helpful for Revenge. Revenge has been forced back in a way that they were not hoping for, not expecting. They probably wanted to be grabbing a tower around 8 minutes, not denying a tower around 8 minutes. But Nagasar doing good work on the mid tower. Chen is going to be able to grab up a little bit of an army here very soon, and I expect this bottom tower to go down probably in the next minute and a half if there is not going to be a response from SNA. Especially on this Ember Spirit, who continues to farm and is now only behind the Bat Rider in terms of net worth.
Yeah, he's doing exceptionally well. I mean, that's what happens when you pick Chen and the other team decides to go to a tri lane, and they do have a good tri lane, and not to mention how well that tri lane did early on. It makes it very hard to push the tower. It's pretty much impossible. I mean, Gyrocopter can just throw the flak cannon, your push is pretty much done, even early on the Sandstorm as well from the Sand King. Makes it hard to push, so no surprise that the tower is still standing. They can go back down there pretty soon, but it's not going to be the easiest tower to push. Smash, he's got the Song of the Siren to get them out, but Bat Rider, of course, able to blink in, and by that time, you know, maybe in the confusion for Fluff and stuff to channel off that epicenter on the Sand King.
So Nature's Prophet is going for that Midas that we had called out, but here's the thing. He is not doing as well in lane, and we are seeing a smoke here into the jungle, so this might get interrupted. But he is not doing nearly as well as he was doing when he started, when he decided that as IX Mike does go ahead and pop in on Smash. There's the lasso over the Firefly. He's being brought down. The Fade Bolt is going to secure that. Ush coming in with the Victory Electric Boogaloo. Really no reason for him to zip over there, but just wanted to make sure that he was around when the Naga Siren went down.
Yeah, I don't know, maybe worried that a sleep was going to get off. If he lands after the sleep, he could have killed the Naga, probably. Yeah. So, I don't know. Insurance, why not? Maybe expecting some counter-initiation. Mihawk, not really the counter-initiating hero. Actually, in the bottom lane, we've got big trouble. Masuko is going to drop Ember Spirit, trying to do as much damage as he can, but that's actually the Fire Spirit Rubik jumping around there. That picks off the Chen. Actually, Bat Rider gets the kill on Chen, so I thought that was Ben Haas jumping. It wasn't. It's the Fire Remnants from Whitebeard. That's actually pretty nice for a Rubik, because now he goes back to base, so you can just TP back into the fights. We will see Ben Haas killing SNA on the Gyrocopter. So it goes 1 for 1. It's actually better for Revenge as they pick off the carry and just lose one of their supports.
Yeah, and they are going to immediately smoke up and then move toward the mid lane. I actually, when we were talking about the Rubik, I did not know. I've never seen Fire Remnant stolen. I didn't know that Fire Remnant and Activate Fire Remnant were different, or were the same spell. I assume that you could steal one or the other, the way that you can steal Stop Sleep.
It'd be like stealing Puck's Orb, right? The Illusory Orb. So, I mean, of course, it's going to give you the Jaunts as well. I
guess, but you can end Nightmare. You can steal Bane's end Nightmare. It's a great way for Bane to stop a Rubik from getting any sort of spell. You cast Nightmare on somebody, you end it right away, and then Rubik can steal end Nightmare without the Nightmare itself. So there are spells that get distributed.
Yeah, that is actually really weird.
Yeah. Oh, Riot is going to go ahead and find Mosaku up here. He is way out of position. Rubik is going to telekinesis him. There's the Sandstorm, and Mosaku is going to go down here.
He's like, my jungle's not safe. I will farm in theirs. And it turns out that their jungle isn't very safe either. I mean, I don't know what he's really expecting. I guess it's, you know, it's a call people generally make. We can see Prophet's doing it because Prophet can just TP and switch those jungles. Chen still has to run in and out of them. And you've got a Sand King trying to jungle up, a Bat Rider trying to jungle up, and even the Gyrocopter heading in trying to jungle. So you know it's going to be, you know, people are going to be in there.
It's fine if you've got vision of your opponents, but at that moment, he didn't know where 4 of his opponents were when he decided to go up in there. It seems like a little bit of a questionable call.
Yeah, we need to go back and cover 1 kill too. We did have it on the camera. That smoke ink that we talked about a couple seconds ago did lead to a kill in the mid lane on the Storm, but bottom, Benha is going to be lassoed. They try to get the push. IX Mike shuts it down with his Blink Dagger. He looks to go on Misco. 1 stack of Napalm. He's going to keep stacking them up there. The Rocket even coming through to ensure the kill. There will be no Brain Sap, so he goes down. Rubik picks up that kill. And yeah, I think, did Naga just TP out? I think she did. Or was she even there? I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy.
Yeah, she was in the mid lane, I believe. They were trying.
Oh, there were 3. Chen was the other one that was there, and he's actually being chased here by IX Mike. 2 stacks of Napalm, no lasso, so he's going to go ahead and back off.
Yeah, Revenge finally decides to move for a push, and they were trying to push without any of their traditional push heroes. They did not have the Naga Siren there. Mosaku wasn't there with creeps, and Nature's Prophet wasn't there. So they were basically just running the Bane and the Ember Spirit up against the tower.
Top lane, Smash is in a lot of trouble. He doesn't really want to use his sleep, but he finally will. There's a double damage Storm Spirit smashing him in the face. And the sleep goes out. What can Mihawk do but really just run away? He's not going to win that right-click battle even though Ush is out of mana, so Ush will live, forces out Song of the Siren, so that's going to be on cooldown now for 160 seconds.
Great time to push if you are SNA. Getting that gyrocopter in the mid lane where he is anyway. Getting that Fade Bolt out and trying to knock down a quick tower. Behind the tier 1, we see Ice Mike coming in for Musaku once again. Musaku getting away with 100 health as Batrider is forced out with the Firefly.
Yeah, I mean, he bothers Chen, though, quite a bit. Chen was even thinking about throwing his ultimate, expecting another attack or maybe another flame break coming in, but, you know, in that confusion, I guess Benha is able to get that bottom tower. Mike not in position to defend it when he's diving behind the tier 1s, which is okay, I think.
All right, after that tower, with that tower grab and the engagement that happened just before it, Revenge for the first time is in a gold lead of this game, and their gold lead is as high as SNA's gold lead was at any point in time in this game. So they just had about a 3,000 gold swing in their favor at 13 minutes for a game this close. That's pretty notable. They're not even 500 experience in deficit. So this mid game still not getting away from them. The Chen is going to fall off here eventually though. And the Midas has come out for the Nature's Prophet, who is being engaged on here by Ice Mike. The lasso is up along with a couple of electric boogaloos, and that is going to be a kill with Batrider taking the gold for that as well.
Yeah, and it looks like he's had enough of that on the Nature's Prophet. We see the Claymore, so we can expect that Shadow Blade to come out. Going to make that a little harder to orchestrate, or at least for some people to buy Dust. And yeah, I mean, you're looking at the scoreboard. It's 11-3 at 14 minutes. This must be a blowout, right? But as you mentioned, not really. Revenge, 2,000 gold ahead and only 1,000 XP behind. So it's still neck and neck. They've got the Naga, they've got the Nature's Prophet. A tri-core lineup if you count in that Ember, who is the highest net worth in the game despite having an awful early game. And I mean, this is going to be a game, and it's a best of 3 as well, to be pointed out. The Dota Trash King of the Hill is a best of 3, $100 winner take all.
Yeah, this is starting to come down to a point in time where I think Revenge will feel a little bit more comfortable. The Naga Siren is sitting at 2,800 gold, so she's not doing
in a lot of trouble behind the tower. The Bolas are going to go there onto Sna. The Fiend's Group to follow it up from Misco, and that is going to be a kill. Benhaz actually receives it, so nicely done, 281 gold. They're getting another tower off of that, so Revenge starting to mobilize and get those pickoffs. I mean, that's what happens if the Sand King and the Batrider aren't really there to bail you out.
Yeah, this is working out all right for Revenge. They're getting a later start than I think they expected, a later start than they wanted, which means they've got a smaller window to secure the advantage that they need for the late game because that Chen will fall off. But Naga Siren, like I said, doing pretty well. She's sitting at 3,100 gold at 15 minutes. She's on pace to get a 20-minute Radiance. And it looks like they are going to go ahead and prepare to push in. Naga Siren has her Siren Song as of 1 second ago. So they can feel... Oh. Ooh, what a nice steal.
Yeah, a bit of a mistake there to let that get stolen. I guess it's really easy to be stolen. I didn't see Whitebeard. He just stole it at the tower, though. Like, he lifted and stole it. So Misco had not used any other spells, and he's going to be paying the price for that. Gives it the Fiend's Grip, and now he gives up his life. Chen, are they going to be able to chase him down? They will. That's Bright, Fluff and Stuff with his fresh Blink Dagger. Going to queue up that Sandstorm, and Masuku is going to fall. Ush going to be picking up that on the Storm Spirit.
Blink Dagger on Sand King is trouble for Revenge. They're no longer going to be able to push in strong. They're going to have to worry about the fact that both Fluff and Stuff and IX Mike are going to go ahead and pop in out of nowhere. The Storm Spirit able to as well. And that gives Gyrocopter plenty of time to mosey his fat flying butt on into these fights and assert his dominance.
Yeah, and SNA+4, they do lose all their Tier 1 towers at this point. Maybe had everything worked out 100% for them, they wouldn't have lost any. At any rate, they would have just lost that bottom Tier 1, but the Tier 2 towers are going to be very hard for Revenge to push with all these Blink Daggers, the threat of an Epicenter. Fluff and Stuff's level 8, so rank 1 Epicenter, it's not crazy, but since it's such a close game, that spell is going to be very, current. It's going to hurt still.
Yeah, this is... getting this is an interesting Tier 2 push attempt coming out of SNA. They've got a Tier 1 mid that they could be pushing, but instead they are going to opt to knock down this Tier 2. And it does not look like there is anything that Revenge wants to or is able to do about it at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, they see that Blink Dagger, they got a fear for their lives, 4 points in Burrow Strikes, so the multi-Burrow Strikes are online. We already saw some early ones. I think there were still level 1 Burrow Strikes, and Fluff was landed 2 people in him down there in that bottom lane.
Yeah.
Smash, though, he's got all himself and all his illusions in the same lane, is trying to push this tower, force out any TPs to slow down the 5-man push from SNA+4, but it's not happening. They're pretty determined.
Well, with the Naga Siren and the Chen army, they're going to be able to trade this out, I think.
Oh, initiation onto Benjas. That's the last I'll use. Fiend's Grip as well. It comes off a cooldown. Rubik's going to use it one more time before he gives up the spell. It actually runs out in, what, a quarter of that duration? And meanwhile, TP's into the bottom lane to defend the tower from Smash. Can they kill Smash? Probably not. Actually, Masoku's there as well. Fluff might even go down. He needs to pop off his Sandstorm, but it's on cooldown. He's out of mana. He's going to fall. Gives up the kill. The gold is split there. SNA+4, though, going to stop the push. Save their tier 2. It's actually only on 150 life, so it's in deny range.
Denying tier 2 here would be big for SNA. The Naga Siren's getting very, very close.
Bottom lane, the jump in by Mike and Ush. They're going to go ahead and take out the Bane very, very quickly. Naga Siren comes in looking to throw the sleep to hold him there. Maybe they can get some sort of rebuttal. But Rubik, oh, he had the early boots. He's got the mana boots now. Not able to outrun the very quick Naga Siren 370 move speed. Now the Riptides go out. Whitebeard will fall. The net used didn't really matter. And Mihawk picks up the kill.
Smash has a habit of netting down corpses where they fall.
Yeah, it's like the third one I've seen.
That dead guy's, he's not going anywhere. I'm going to make sure I know exactly where to find him in case I need to loot him later. Smash, yeah, that kill is huge for him. He was down at 2,900 gold when I was saying that he was getting close before. Now he's up at 3,700, just about to hit 3,800. That's going to be his basic core building block of that Radiance. And yeah, there it is. Already. He's got the, he must have had, I was just about to ask you, where did all of his money go? Because he had a bunch of money and then he dropped it. I thought maybe he died and I didn't see it, but he picked up the Radiance recipe and he had it on the courier. I did not think to check the courier. And that is a Radiance at 19 minutes against a squishy set of heroes like a Bat Rider and a Rubik who's got no field whatsoever. This is starting to look like a pretty nice moment for Revenge. So we'll see if they're able to actually go in and knock down some towers before that Chen falls off, who also, by the way, just got his mechanism up. So SNA, they're going to need to pick Revenge apart in these upcoming push attempts. Presumably, they're going to be coming out very, very quickly. They're down in the bottom lane. Benha is getting in trouble again. He is going to be hit. He is going to go down as the Nature Trap comes out to try and scare Ice Mike and Ush off.
Oh, kill top. Or where was that, actually?
That was
Rubik goes down as well.
Oh, Rubik.
The Ancients. Yeah, Nature's Prophet takes him out.
Right.
Looks like he must have walked past this ward here up the cliff or something, and I don't know, Mihawk reading into it. Oh, he's got the Shadow Blade, so we could have just stalked him over there.
Yeah.
And right-clicking him. What Rubik probably has, I'm going to guess, like 780 HP right now, so maybe more than that. Maybe like 900 since he has an urn.
It looks like there was a range creep that actually saw out. No, that's a dire side range creep. Never mind. But that is a range creep that it should be stacking. So this gyrocopter is going to have a hefty stack to try and catch up and farm. In terms of net worth, the top two on the board are a very nice TP away from Ush there, or from the Bane away from Ush. The top two on the board by a fair margin are going to be for Revenge. That is the Naga Siren and the Nature's Prophet. Nature's Prophet starting to really get dividends from that Midas. And SNA still having trouble with this tier 1 mid.
Yeah, that's actually giving them a lot of control there. And of course, Nature's Prophet could just TP anywhere. So that would be nice for SNA+4 to take out, but it's going to be very, very hard for them now. Nature's Prophet, the Midas kicking in, the Radiance as well. Smash going to be farming like crazy on the Naga Siren, pushing out the lanes, disabling Blink Daggers as well with the Radiance. So that's something important to talk about. I mean, he can just send those Naga Siren illusions when they push, one to the tree, one past the tower, one to the left of the tower, and just disable those Blink Daggers when they push in. If the Bat Rider can't initiate, you know, Sand King can't blink in with his Epicenter. It's going to make life pretty painful for a very blink-dependent team. Ush, though, he's still able to get things started just with his Orchid and his Ball Lightning.
And we are going to see Masaku dropped on high ground by IX Mike. And there's going to be the sun coming out of Fluff and stuff. There's going to be re-engagement coming out of Benhaz here.
Yeah, looks like Fluff is going to be the one to pay the price. Mike picks up the kill. It's a support for a support, but the fight's going to continue now. Whitebeard in some trouble trying to throw Nature's Prophet up to the cliff. Not that it would matter much. You can just TP away. Mihawk going to kill Rubik one more time. So Mihawk dominating that Rubik if this was Counter-Strike or something.
And they see the stack now. The treants that he just called actually gave him high ground vision to see this stack. Presumably they are going to go over and contest that. The mid-tower, here the mid-tower tier 2 for SNA is basically the only thing keeping Revenge from taking an uncontested Roshan at this point as well. Because like you said, that the disabling the Blink Daggers is very important. The Naga Siren can drop an illusion there, and there, and basically make it so that there can be no blind initiation coming out of SNA onto that Roshan. Very difficult for their team composition to contest especially if they don't have a TP anchor point, which this tier 2 mid is the last available.
Yeah, I mean, if they do get the blinks, though, and there is an Orchid onto Smash, he's still going to die very, very quickly. Maybe not if Masoku has a say in it. If he gets off both the Mechanism and the Hand of God, that's going to give quite a bit of HP back over to Smash. But still very squishy. He goes for this pretty much standard build right here, the Boots of Travel, into the Radiant. So the next item we should expect, maybe because there's a Bat Rider and an Orchid, he goes Linken's, but generally it's just going to be a Mantis style to continue to push lanes and farm quickly.
Okay, so with the Boots of Travel on the Naga Siren and the Test of Faith sitting on the Chen, along with the teleport from Nature's Prophet, it's basically like Revenge has a Pit Lord. Half of their team can be anywhere at one time.
Pit Lord.
For all
soon,
of you
man.
who,
he's coming soon, for sure.
He's got to be coming up. One of the
Abyssal Underlord in Dota 2.
Bottom
lane, though, this is exactly what they need to do. They will jump on Smash. They're not going to even use the Orchid. They don't have to. That's how squishy the Naga Siren is with that standard build of just Radiance and Boots of Travel. They don't even need the Silence because there's no chance of the Song of the Siren getting used. And the first Battle Fury, one of many to come, perhaps, for Ben has on the Ember Spirit.
Yeah, I think before he goes with additional Battle Furies, somebody on his squad is going to need to go for Desolator. That could be the Nature's Prophet, who's doing very well in farm, but it will probably be that Ember Spirit. That will help them with this push strategy, because once again, this Chen is going to fall off very soon, if he hasn't already. Honestly, his usefulness is basically coming down to trying to split push these towers, and that is even going to start to subside very soon. His Hand of God, along with the Mechanism, is somewhat useful, but not nearly as useful as it was in the early game, as we just saw. Not really able to keep people alive. And the Roshan is going to go to SNA, so Revenge not able to take that mid tower and the Roshan soon enough. SNA actually grabs the uncontested Aegis.
Yeah, I mean, they're on the dire side, so it makes sense. And yeah, Misco in some trouble. That's an Orchid used up. They don't want anything to be cast like a Nightmare, and he would be able to get away and grab that Invis rune that actually Ush is going to go ahead and pick up. On the backside of that, Naga Siren will go ahead and clear out Fluff and Stuff's Sand King. I can only assume he netted the corpse. As up top, this tower's in some trouble, but maybe not. IX Mike to the rescue. The send back on Mihawk, so he's going to be okay. Mike quickly starts to pick a new target. It's going to be that Chen who got his teammate out there. Uses the mech. A lot of healing. Ush now out of mana. One more attack should do it. He will drop. Now, well, Slate of Fist from Benhaz is going to take out the IX Mike Batrider. Now Smash. They use up the Aegis from Spirit. One of the best heroes to have an Aegis on because he can just zip out of there. Actually, they might try to re-engage. The Gyrocopter is going to throw down his ultimate, but the burst damage... that was pretty substantial coming out from all three of those core heroes, and Nature's Prophet actually picks up the kill.
Yeah, the timing on that Orchid was perfect. He silenced that Storm out so he couldn't get out of the trees, but it's really difficult to grab a Storm.
Stay in the trees.
Before he's able to zip himself away. So very, very nice play coming on that Nature's Prophet. And basically turned that Roshan snag that SNA had into an overconfidence maneuver and gave Revenge, I think, a bit of an advantage off of it.
Yeah, that's actually one time when it's not good to stay in the trees. If you're surrounded by Nature's Prophet, you should probably get out of the trees.
Get out of the trees as soon as possible. Don't eat.
That will eventually get old, but I don't know how long it's going to take.
Oh, it'll be a couple months. Nobody will know what you're talking about by the time it's old to us.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, even it's lame to like make the reference, I guess, because it just feels like I'm spamming Twitch chat when I cast. But I mean, even LD last night was saying it on like one of the biggest games in I think like North America itself has ever had.
Yeah, well, one of the biggest games, certainly.
Bottom lane.
Season.
Snot in some trouble. Mihawk gonna go ahead and attack a creep after that Orchid. So Snot is gonna live. The Orchid damage isn't gonna be enough. Mike now dragging Mihawk away. No one's here to aid the poor Nature's Prophet, who we all love so much, right? I'm pretty sure everyone wants to see him die right now, except for maybe Revenge, as he will go down. Whitebeard Dota picks up the kill with that Fade Bolt.
Revenge not getting what he was hoping for, what they were hoping for there, as that Nature's Prophet goes down. The purchasing of the dust the dust coming out of SNA has been very regular and very effective on that Nature's Prophet. He hasn't been able to split push on his own safely at all this game. And SNA has done a very, very strong job of basically shutting down the split push coming out of Revenge.
Yeah, I like this in the jungle. Masoku, he was just minding his own business, you know, dominating or persuading his creep to Chen's faith and just, you know, getting some gold. And then suddenly Batrider comes in, starts hitting him in the face with some sticky napalm. And then suddenly Naga Siren just TPs to one of Chen's creep and is like, get out of here, IX Mike. IX Mike has to back off. Yeah. And does it quickly with his acquired Mask of Madness. Pretty standard Batrider build there.
There are so many ways for Naga Siren to get around the map right now. She's got all of her lane creeps, plus Treants, plus Chen stolen creeps, to get anywhere she wants at any time. Not to mention the fact that she can leave illusions and travel them approximately a third of the map in a radius about this big before they expire. So she is able to...
might go down here. Oh no, sorry. Orchid was used, and Usher was getting very, very low. He, again, had the sense to just quickly TP out, so we'll see. Mihawk, his next item, picks up an ultimate orb, so it very well might be a sheep stick, because he's probably sick and tired of people TPing out on him.
Bat Rider is just waiting in the trees. He will grab Benhaz. It goes off a little bit too far to the side. Just a call down there, so a lot of damage coming out. Benhaz is going to go down. The Nature's Prophet throws his ult. That is a little bit of damage, but with the flat cannon, this push is immediately disabled. And Storm going to do the long boogaloo. She's coming in. The Siren Song goes off, but not before the Bane gets sucked in, and he will be sent home, getting rid of any chance for reinitiation from Revenge off that Siren Song.
Yeah, it gets sent home, TP's back immediately to the mid lane in case there's going to be any sort of fight. We do see that SNA Dota has finished up his MKB. So Phase Dominator MKB, this is pretty much the old traditional carry gyro build when he started originating as a carry in the scene. So going back to the roots as Fluff and Stuff going to initiate here onto Misko. He's going to be sent back one more time, and it gets nicely done here by the Chen, utilizing that ability to its fullest. A lot of people, when you play Chen, you forget about that ability. And, you know, sometimes you just forget to save your teammates, focusing on your own positioning, but Chen playing very, very nicely as we see Nagasiren picking up one more kill, will take down Fluff and Stuff's Sand King.
Chen has easily prevented SNA from getting 6,000 gold or more with those pullbacks. Not just because not only has he saved probably 6 or 7 heroes, but the fact that SNA is spending all of their time on a hero who's going to be sent back and not chasing out after the rest of the team is costing them a lot of kills. 2-3 kills per fight sometimes.
Oh, Whitebeard there in the mid lane is going to go down. Bane, fresh back from the base once again, just throws out the Fiend's Grip onto the Rubik. That way Rubik can't steal it. So 2 supports down here from SNA on that last engagement that did last a little while there in the mid lane. And they're going to get a tier 2 tower off of that. So, I mean, looking over the net worths, we can see 3 of the 3 heroes that are core to Revenge leading the net worth. So that's a very, very good sign. This game started off pretty rough, although Revenge never fell that far behind. Now they find themselves 8,000 gold ahead. Still, they're trailing in XP by a little bit, but 2,000 XP at 30 minutes isn't really a big deal.
Yeah, the Monkey King bar is finally up on the gyrocopter. That's some damage output that he really needed. He did not go for additional survivability, though. A lot of times you see 2 survivability items before damage comes out in the Black King bar and the Helm of the Dominator. It looks like this gyrocopter is just going to skip additional survivability, which is potentially going to hurt him when it comes to his ability to assert himself on these pushes. And we do see that SNA not really able to even still do significant damage to this mid tier 1. And also something that we didn't call out, but I do want to just point out, the Nature's Prophet did grab the courier by teleporting all the way up here toward the edge of the dire side base in that big mid engagement. All right.
Classic Nature's Prophet. Yeah, Ush, he's very, very low. He's going to initiate it. He's going to zip out of there. Mihawk is just trying to pick up 1 kill, fighting until his final breath, but not going to get a kill from it. He will go down. And now Bright is, or Fluff and Stuff rather, is going to go ahead and pick up a gem, sick and tired of, you know, that Nature's Prophet just going invis and trying to run away, even though they get him there. And, well, Nagasiren has finished up that Manta, so that's the expected item progression. And now maybe we see a Lincoln's coming out as, look at this, those illusions just picking up a kill there from the Radiance burn onto Whitebeard.
Yeah, like I said, squishy supports, very troublesome if you are going to be up against a Nagasiren who gets up a sub 20-minute Radiance. There's going to be the Siren Song to get rid of SNA's damage. Mosaku slowly sending everybody back and also trying to get rid of this missile, which is going to presumably go all the way back over here. Also, Blink Dagger up on the Chen now. I
saw that. Blink Gaming, I guess. I don't know. So far, he's been pretty clutch at keeping his positioning and just sending people back. And if that's the name of if that's what the game comes to, just saving your cores, and you need to get that positioning, I can make sense of this Blink Dagger. I mean, there's really not much else after Mana Boots and Mech that Chen really goes for anyways.
Yeah, what item can you get on a Chen that makes it so that he really can assert himself in this stage of the game anyway? There isn't one.
Like Ags or Vlads, just if you want to push, or you're going to be fighting, but that's not what Revenge is doing, so...
Maybe if he had a ton of farm, I could see him going for an Assault Cuirass or a Force or something. Like, just trying to help out Revenge, who still have not gotten any tower downing items. They don't have any Necronomicons, they don't have a Desolator, and they do not have a Assault Cuirass, which you would think an Assault Cuirass on an Nagasiren with all those illusions, plus the tower pushing potential that comes out of that item, I would expect that to come out before that Diffusal Blade, which was just finished, but Diffusal Blade is going to be the choice. That's very effective against the Storm, but not super effective against anybody else in SNA.
Yeah, and you can purge off the Orchid, because that's what she really needs to do, purge off the Orchid and get the sleep out, just in case, you know, it comes down to that. It's not the most standard item. It's going to make her a little more battle ready, doing some more damage with those illusions. Really going to murder supports.
Wow.
As Smash actually just picks up a kill in the top lane off of another illusion. Actually even kills IX Mike, so that's a pretty big kill. Mike worth a fair amount. He's sitting at, what, 9.2 thousand net worth. He's in the middle of the pack there with the rest of the players for SNA+4.
Yeah, he was worth 335 gold, which is not a pittance. It's notable. The Whitebeard almost went down there as well, because Rubik, once again, not really able to stand up and fight, or even stand up and stand in that Radiance aura.
And the Lincoln Sphere comes out for Ember Spirit. I would have expected a Lincoln's maybe next over that Diffusal, just some more survivability. That will block the Orchid or the Lasso as well, but it's not going to happen. Bright, that's Fluff is up in the top lane, in a lot of trouble. He does have the gem. They're going to turn it around on Mihawk. Actually, Mihawk, lots of heal. He will kill. And wow, look at this. Gem secured. Smash is going to show up. Throw the net here onto Ush. Mihawk's going to die, but Smash does get the kill. He's got a Perseverance, so now he's going for that Lincoln Sphere. Gem on the deck. Naga pings it out, so they're very, very aware. And Revenge, I mean, it's a bold statement maybe, but I feel like they've pretty much got this game in the bag.
Yeah, at this point in time, it is a game of mistakes. They could pull out for a little too long, get that Gyrocopter, the opportunity to get some farm up, but at the moment, Gyrocopter's sitting a solid 7,000 behind the Naga Siren, 3,000 behind the Nature's Prophet, even 1,000 behind the Ember Spirit, and of course, Gyrocopter, one of the most farm-dependent heroes in the entire game. Of course, he's also one of the hardest late-game carries, and I am always... A Tiny and a Gyrocopter are the two heroes that I feel really, really uncertain calling any game against a team that has one or both of those heroes, just because of the potential of that Gyrocopter to knock down towers if he is given another 10-15 minutes here.
Yeah, Masoku in some trouble, not going to be able to blink away from that one. Mike blinks forward, picks him off there, pulls him back with the Mask of Madness activated, so... 2 people on the deck right now for Revenge. This does give SNA+4 some more time to farm up Gyrocopter to... I mean, at this point, he's almost going for Rapier Dota right now. He's got... Well, did have 4,000, now 3,500. Ben Haas is going to pick him off. The 2-3 tower is still standing, but look at Sleight of Fist takes Fluff and stuff to like half HP there. And in the bottom lane, it looks like they will kill the Naga Siren, so...
That is a huge amount of...
Okay, all 4 down. They're going to turn the Gem of True Sight back over as well. So, like you said, it's a game of mistakes right now for Revenge. As long as they don't make any more like that, it should be, you know, just ride it on out. If it takes 40 minutes, it takes 40 minutes, but...
Yeah, this is a very, very bad time to lose that. SNA is going to be able to push out their lane, and Roshan has come back up. So, this is a potential Gyrocopter grabbing an Aegis here would be devastating for Revenge. They are way down, but allowing that Gyrocopter to come up and use his Flat Cannon Rocket Barrage, output his damage twice in a team fight, it's troublesome. Right now, the Chen, the Bane, and even to some extent the Naga Siren are having a little bit of difficulty standing up to the Gyrocopter. The way they've been handling him is just knocking him out early or catching him out when he doesn't have allies. Very quick reaction coming out of that Ember Spirit there.
Yes, press D, get away. If you're using, I guess, the standard Dota 2 hotkeys.
I do not.
Yeah, a lot of people actually rebind that 5th ability. I keep it on D. I actually really don't like it there at all. I like F because it's a little further away, but D is kind of just like too inward. I don't know. That's why I suck at Puck.
Yeah, I don't use anything close to standard. I use the QWERTY row for my skills, so like I'm totally off the mark.
Wait, skills or items?
Skills. Up and top, Ice Mike is going to go down. Yeah, items are on my mouse. As Ush comes in and tries to get Smash, it's going to go and use that Siren Song. And try to get away. No TP available, though. There's 40 seconds left on those Boots of Travel.
Mihawk. Mission impossible right now, going in against 4 people. Started things off with the Shadow Blade. Fluff actually misses that stun, unfortunately. Maybe would have wanted to. And he's going to get sheeped out. The sheep is out here for Mihawk, so he gets the kill. I'm assuming you're humming Mission Impossible as SNA, they lose 2.
That was
bottom lane actually, Misco in some trouble. You're gonna be sent back. He's been saved so many times, like, okay, except for that time.
He died in the fountain there. I think
that was a little strange. It does send back the corpse though, like even if you die.
No, I'm pretty sure. Hold on, I'll check the chat logs. I think it was
It was a flat cannon, I think, that just got him
really?
at the end there. As we see SNA going for a butterfly. He's got the Eagle Song on his person. I thought maybe he was just going to go straight for the Rapier already, but, you know, not wanting to. Their towers, though, are falling to these Naga illusions. Whitebeard is going to die in his base by the fountain, and, well, that's what happens when you're support at 37 minutes against a Naga who is quickly approaching 6 slots. Yeah, actually, she's really not. She's approaching 5 slots.
The Bane did get killed by that Orchid Malevolence. 310 damage in the fountain, so just narrowly.
Oh, the Orchid, right.
So it was...
That makes sense.
Very nice play from that Storm. And the Chen, once again, basically perfectly on point. There was nothing else that he could have done. But there's a limit, even to a Chen with a Blink Dagger. There are limits. Yeah. Revenge having a lot of trouble cracking high ground here, though, and Gyrocopter is getting bigger and bigger. He is going to go for a butterfly next. I don't know if you... I heard you say something about Eagle Song while I was looking that up. But
yeah.
That butterfly coming out is going to be a fair amount of survivability. The armor that comes out of the butterfly, not a pittance, as well as the missed champs coming out of the dodge. That's pretty nice. I, once again, don't know that this Gyrocopter is really able to stand up in fights right now, especially up against that Naga Siren. That seems to be their biggest trouble right now, is that SNA is unable to assert himself throughout these fights. But other than that, as soon as that Gyrocopter can stand up on his own 2 feet, Revenge is going to have a huge turnaround on their hands. They need to crack high ground here in the next 5 minutes, or sooner. The sooner the better. Because the longer that Gyrocopter is allowed to free farm flat cannon 3 lanes, basically delivery, it's not, going to work out very well for them. We're got to pause from some lag here. Mosaku hoping for... Okay, it looks like it is going to go ahead and dissipate here as Mihawk getting caught out here. There's going to be the Siren Song.
Yeah, this could be pretty bad. They just used a lot to initiate there. No one's going to be able to blink away. Fiend's Grip goes out onto Fluff and stuff. He's going to be brought down first. Mike trying to get away. He's going to drop Ben Haas with a double kill. Make it a triple kill, actually. And, well, you might not have the best tower pushing items, but if you just wipe the enemy team, breaking that high ground is going to be pretty easy. They run up now. Now they're diving tier 3s. Make it diving tier 4s. Whitebeard going to die to the illusions once more. And SNA+4 still takes about 5 hits to bring down those illusions, even though they're not extremely tanky. And in the back line, still diving. Smash is going to go down. So that's a lot of teamfight potential for Revenge gone. But look at this. A tier 3 tower now gone in the bottom lane. The tier 3 tower has already fallen in the top lane, so the racks are exposed. And it looks like they are going to back off safely. No, Mihawk wants to go in and get a little frisky. Maybe find out Whitebeard one more time. Checking out our buybacks. Still have a few, actually none available for SNA+4, so they're in it to win it right now. Nice searing chains out on 2, holding them in place. SNA still fighting for his life. Did not drop in this engagement, I don't. But no, he actually bought back in this engagement, so he died very, very quickly. And yeah.
Yeah, that was not really where SNA wanted to be, but at least they didn't lose their racks. They did manage to turn it around eventually in there. The lost gold for that Gyrocopter, though, tremendously notable for SNA. That is, oh wow, very nice blink. There's another blink out on the Bane now. So this is a game of teleportation. Almost every single person in the game can teleport. We've got Bane can teleport, Naga Siren can teleport with Boots of Travel, Nature's Prophet can teleport with teleportation, Chen can teleport, Ember, so yeah, everybody on Revenge can go from where they are to where they want to be without walking.
It's like the future.
And
maybe, I don't know.
SNA might have an Aegis on his hands. He could drop that Aquila and pick that sucker up.
Yeah, probably what he will do, or maybe drop a TP, I don't know. Fiend's Grip, though, onto IX Mike. That's a good target. The Fiend's Grip up, canceled pretty quickly. Misco is going to fall down as a result of that, but SNA, first to hit the deck. Actually, maybe not. IX Mike was the first to hit the deck, then followed by the Gyrocopter. Then the Storm Sphere going to be brought down very quickly. So much burst damage here from Revenge. They just walk in, walk out, and all of SNA is on the ground, except for that Rubik, who I don't even know if he was there, just sitting in that mid lane. Whitebeard actually went for a Midas.
Yeah, this is a GG call. I can't believe that GG call didn't come out right when that fell. But with the barracks, yeah, there it is. They were just waiting for one barracks to fall. I guess they were hoping for one more chance of Revenge, just not asserting themselves as much as they need to. And the game ends 31-31. Revenge playing in terms of KD from behind the entire game.
Yeah, I mean, it was like 13-2 at one point in favor of SNA+4. That shows you the power of this Tricore lineup. I mean, you can even say it's a little greedy because they do lose the laning phase pretty hard, but the Naga, the Nature's Prophet, and of course the Ember Spirit at the end of that with 2 Battle Furies able to bring it back for the win. 31-31, the score ends dead even, but the game anything but. This is game 1, best of 3, Dota Trash, King of the Hill, $100 on the line, winner takes all. You can also check out the store to buy that in-game ticket. This is a weekly event every Wednesday starting at 7 p.m. Eastern. I'm Helium. You can follow me on Twitter at Heliumbrella. And Gorgon, my co-caster, as usual for these events. Where can they find you?
Oh, you guys can find me over at GotCowDota, and I will also be putting up text versions of all the Dota Trash games on the Dota Trash site. So if you do miss a game, or if you are out after a game and you want to be able to catch up on what happened, but you don't have the ability to watch a VOD on your tiny little cell phone or something, go ahead and stop by the Dota Trash site, and I will walk it through you all in the old school format of text.
All right, we'll be bringing you game 2, maybe game 3 here in just a little moment. So sit tight and we'll be right back.